Hey there, I'm Caden Rains, and welcome to my basement. Today we're looking at the Up House, the Disney Lego set from the movie Up, and then we'll pop it in the neighborhood and see how it goes. But first, let's take a look at all the parts and pieces and what it's got going for it. So just to get out of the way, there's this little side build, which is from his front yard. It's got his helium tank, because if you don't remember what caused Carl to what gave him the know-how to send his house flying was that he was a balloon guy. Like, that was his job, was to blow up balloons at a zoo and all that. So that's their writing for how he knew how to do all that and whatnot. But anyway, so mailbox it's fine. It's nothing really to write home about. I've seen better mailboxes. But the balloons, which feature pretty well across the set, are they're fine. They're good. I'm glad we got a good variety of colors, as we'll see in a minute. There's also a squirrel, which was probably put in here just for Doug, but good for him. And then a box. And that's just the way Lego uses these slope pieces to make the ridges of the top of the box look box-like. So it's neat. Was it necessary? Who knows, but it's there. Then for the minifigs, we've got Russell with his big old Boy Scout pack. And it's got a bunch of stuff that was on his pack in the movie, so that's great. I'm sure his hat was this far up, but I kind of feel like it should be just a twinge down, but, it's fine. He's got his collection of badges, and he does have an alternate face where he's even happier, so good for him. Considering the first time we see him, he's stuck on the porch hundreds of feet in the air. I think a scared face might have been good too, but whatever. He fits the mold. He's got leg printing, or dual molding, rather, but to me they're roughly the same as far as aesthetics go. I know they're not the same. Don't at me, bro. But I think he fits the appearance of how he looks in the movie pretty well. So good on that. So that's Russell. Then we got Carl. Nope, there he goes. And he also does a good job of fitting his appearance from the movie. His legs don't have printing, as you can see, but because he pulls them up over his waist, over his stomach, really, it actually makes sense why the printing is on his torso and not his pants, so I'll give it a pass. And then, like with Russell, he also has an alternate face, so his default one is this, grumpy, and then he's got a more happy face from, later in the movie, basically. The only problem I have with Carl here is that the rollerblade they use as part of his walking stick is not the same gray as the walking stick. So it's a little thing. It doesn't really matter, but it just seems like, couldn't they have made one the other gray and gone from there? But again, it's not a big thing. The most unique piece is Doug here, which good for him. He's even got his talking collar. And, I'm kind of surprised in a way we got him because, what else are they going to put this specific model of dog in? Maybe if he didn't have the collar, you could justify it in another set. But as it is, well, he's good, but you're not going to see him again, most likely, unless they stick him in another Disney thing. So, whatever. It's not really a negative on the grand scheme of things. It's just, it'd be nice if you could justify seeing him in different colors of dog fur and whatnot, but you're probably not going to get that. So it is what it is, but it's a nice piece. I'm glad it exists. Now, moving on to the house itself. It is a facade set. So as we turn this, you're going to see very quickly that this is not a full house. And at the price point it came at, even though I got mine on sale, it makes sense. So, but we've got the front. It looks good. It's got the paint style and coloration that was present from the beginning of the movie throughout. Obviously, it's not really faded as some of it was, but it's hard to get that on Lego without going the sticker or printing route. Which the front door is stickered on both sides, which is kind of a bummer. You might be able to tell that mine didn't go on as straight as I would have liked. I'm not great at those, but it is what it is. There's this pretty good angled set of windows here, and then the more straight up bit here for another window, which is sort of the bedroom, quote unquote. And then we've got some tiles here and there on both the front and sides of the roof. So that's pretty good. As far as just appearances go, it nails it pretty much. So let's turn around, and as you can see, it quickly becomes just the back. Like I said, it's a facade set, and that's what you're going to get. Now, I've actually removed a couple extra pieces here, but besides that, this is what the set looks like. On the first floor, you've just got the entranceway, and then Carl's chair with this pretty good record player. It actually uses a miner's cap as the part that the sound comes out of, so that's pretty neat. And it doesn't want to go back in there. Cool. All right, there we go. Then there's just a couple of little things in there, like the change jar that they could never fill up because stuff kept happening. Carl's chair. There's a little fireplace with a stickered painting of the house from the end of the movie. The TV from earlier in the movie is built upstairs along with the bed. And in this case here is actually, this is stickered, but we have the adventure book, which is a sticker on the outside. And unfortunately, it's just the standard Once Upon a Time piece on the inside. So that's kind of a bummer, but it's also, if they were going to make this a full set, it would have been a lot more expensive. Of course, then maybe I could put this back without embarrassing myself. There we go. We've also got Carl's bed, which has a picture of Ellie as a adult, and there's a lot of, unfortunately, stickered pieces, but a lot of them from the movie. So there's her as an adult. There's just this bird and clock in the entranceway. And then if we actually, so there we can see a few more. We got Ellie as a kid over here, their wedding, and then her as an old lady before she passed. Spoilers, I guess. But, oh, no, piece fell off. There we go. So that's the inside. Now, do I think this was a bad set? No. Do I think it's a great set? Not necessarily. It looks good. If that's what you're after, I recommend this set. Oh, and then before I forget, there's the balloons. That probably added more to the price of this set than it needed to, because each of these balloons is 2, 3, 4 pieces minimum, plus the stuff to hold them together between. So, you can count those if you want and see that's a bunch of pieces. I would have probably, while it is iconic from the movie to see the balloons coming out of the chimney, personally, I probably would have just stopped with the side build. Maybe add a few more just around, but the whole build at the top kind of seems like a waste. And that's why I wouldn't say this is the greatest set of all. I got mine on sale, and while I try to do that for any set I get, this one especially, as much as I wanted it and wanted Doug Squirrel, as much as I wanted that, I just, at its original price, I couldn't do it. I had to wait till it went down. It's actually kind of ironic it's still in stores, at least near me, because I got 2 of them, and together on sale they were less than the cost of one, and yet they're still in stores. Not as good a sale as they used to be, but it's interesting how the Lego economics works sometimes. But anyway, as far as making this work in my city, it's gonna be a while before it's complete. But like I said, I got a second one at some point, and when I put this one together, I just mirrored it. I left off a couple things, like the bed and the TV, and while I did put the record player together, I'll be getting rid of that. In fact, the TV will probably go down here. But the point is, I mirrored it, and I'm going to expand it a little bit with, I've been playing with some some plate pieces. So eventually it'll be roughly this much space inside. I'm not going to add a whole lot. I'll probably make a little kitchen area on this side, and then make this the TV area, and then add some stairs to make the upstairs an actual bedroom. That'll be a while off though, just because it's, I got to figure out all the stuff, and I got other sets to build, and I've got some other sets that I know I'm going to have to modify, like a little more for the Stranger Things set and whatnot. But I do think that this is a good set overall, regardless of what I said earlier. I don't think I probably phrased it great earlier, but I think if you're just getting something like this to display and you want the up house, then especially since it is, even if it's not really on sale around you, it's not as much as it used to be. I still see it in stores, and it's not its original price. I see it in the 30s and 40s a lot. And that's probably the best price for it, honestly. I always try to get things cheaper, but I think it's a good set at a reduced price, and I'm glad I have my two so that I can make them a full house. And again, I think that the minifigs and animal fig involved are a good set. It would have been neat in some ways if we had the villain, but I'm not surprised nor upset that we didn't get him. But this, I think it's nice. I'm happy with it, and I think if you liked this movie or just like colorful houses, this is a good set, at least for display. Like I said, I will be modifying it to make it a full modular house. But on the whole, it's pretty good. So let's see where it's going to sit in the city for now, and then we'll call it a day. And here we have the up house for now. In the long run, I'm probably going to stick it between two other houses without this space on the side. But for now, Carl can look at the Stranger Things house and tell the Demogorgon to get off his lawn or something. I also haven't put the in-between sections of the floor out there for now, until I figure out exactly how I'm going to flesh out the house. I don't feel like taking up space with that. So, but that's the first house on the back side of the neighborhood, I guess. I mean, if you don't count the Stranger Thing house, I've kind of thought of these plates as the back side. So, it's coming along. It gives you a splash of color, given that this row is pretty dark. We got, the lightest one is light gray, and then we got browns, beiges, and more browns and grays on these two houses. So we've got those, but we'll see if this stays exactly there. Like I said, until I finalize what the enhancements to Carl's house are going to be, I'm not going to stick it to the plate or anything. My only complaint from a city building perspective is that the house is kind of an awkward stud size. It's 18 studs, while the magic number is 16, or multiples of it, 16 and 32. The big base plates are 32. The half base plates are 16 across. So his house being 18, it's just going to mess with me a little bit, but I'll figure it out. So that's the addition to the neighborhood for now. Let me know down below if you've got the up house from Lego, if you like it, if you don't like it, if you think it shouldn't be next to the Stranger Things house, or if it should be even closer to the Stranger Things house. But either way, I hope you had a good time in my basement, and I'll see you in the next one.